What's going on, everybody? I'm coming at you from Central Florida. This morning I'm making this video to talk about my pepper plants. One of the things that's cool about growing vegetables here is that instead of pepper plants being annuals or seasonal, you can actually grow them as perennials. And I'm just gonna show where my pepper plants are at now, coming right out of winter. We're pretty much in the beginning of spring for us. And then I'll make several videos throughout the spring and summer to show harvests and how big they get and things like that. But for now, I'm really proud of these plants. They're kind of my pride and joy in a way in the garden. So here's the first one. It is a orange habanero plant, and I just have the bottle there only for size comparison. I do really take care of these plants. I babied them all winter, but if you look in here, you can see all the pods that's already on this orange habanero here. I mean, the thing is just absolutely covered in pods. And then next to that is my red habanero, and it's actually a little bit bigger. These things were huge. I cut them back pretty significantly about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. You can see, that's where one of the cuts was there. And they're absolutely booming. And just like the other one, there's flowers all over it. There's several pods. I'll give you a view from the back side of this plant. You can really see how many pods, but if you look, you can see how thick that trunk is. It's almost like a small little tree there. I've got some smaller habaneros next to this big ugly onion that I'm not sure if I'm going to leave them. They weren't as productive last year. And I've got some reapers started in my little seed starting area, so I may pull those out and put a reaper there. This one back here looks worse than it is, and that's my fault. I killed half of it when I drove that stake in on a windy day. I guess I hit one of the main roots. But that's my chocolate habanero. It's a really, really cool pepper to grow. It's hotter than the red and the orange for me. And then this one here is probably my favorite. My wife picked out the seeds, which is funny because she doesn't really like spicy stuff like I do. And this is actually the second hottest pepper in the world. This is the Trinidad Moruga scorpion. And if you look, there are several really beautiful pods, all over this plant. Look at the stinger that's going to be on that one right there. That's going to be a beautiful pod. This plant is covered in fruit. This is March, guys, and these plants are huge. Here's 2 Serrano peppers. We're not as hot anymore, but hotter than a jalapeno. I do love Serranos. I use them in a lot of stuff. Those are thriving, buds all over the place, several fruit. Here's my Poblano, which I had 2, and I did lose the other one, but because of wind and being blown around, there's pods all over this Poblano here, and I let these get ripe, and I will use them to make chili powder. Look at that one down there. And I also pick them when they're green and stuff them, and they're really, really delicious. This one here is my ghost pepper. It doesn't have any fruit on it yet, but that's another super hot pepper. I think it's like the 7th hottest pepper right now, and that will give us a ton of fruit. I mean, that's still pretty tall, I've also got some carrots in here while I'm waiting for this ají limo to grow up and take up this space. I really don't like to waste space. Here's the back side of these habanero plants, and you can see how many pods and the size of the pods. I mean, these are just really healthy plants. Over here, I've got bell peppers. They don't look so good, but they will thrive and do great. They're still good size. They have really strong roots. This pepper is on a plant that doesn't look so hot, but there's flowers and peppers all over it. I cut these back too. I mean, these were so much bigger. You can tell they were cut here and here, and they just look sad, but I promise you they'll really start growing back just like this one with tons of new growth. That's a good sized pepper right there. And like I said, it's just March. This is just beginning. There's another bell pepper. Here's our banana pepper. We only have one. It's something that my wife wanted me to grow. We don't eat a whole lot of them. They don't have any spice to them. They're the sweet bananas. But that produced a ton of fruit last year as well. And last but certainly not least are my jalapenos. There's a couple plants in here. It's not just one plant, but it's absolutely covered in peppers. I mean, there's peppers everywhere. And I cut these things back so hard. They were probably 4 feet tall, but blown all over the place. Some of them you could tell are like this one, leaning over really hard. And that's because I had catnip planted in here. And the feral cats would come in at nighttime and roll all in it, and they knocked the jalapenos over. But man, these plants are so productive, and it's just getting started. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. That's a quick pepper update. I'll check back in a couple weeks with another pepper update, and we'll see how everything's looking then. Have a good weekend.